Yo, Q, what up?
Man, I'm keeping it real. What up, Duan?
Welcome
Let's get it.
to Not Just Music, where we keep it real and honest.
Always.
My mama praying, telling me, Q, you need to chill. They can't respect the truth, I'm just honest.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Not Just Music Podcast, where we keep it real
And always honest.
And I hope y'all are having a great Thursday.
Yeah.
Looking forward to a great weekend to come. And, well, we got to go through Friday first. So get through Friday, get to the weekend.
Yeah.
And hopefully y'all can have a great, safe weekend. And another thing I want to talk about firstly is our Thanksgiving giveaway.
Yeah.
Those that are looking to help us, help somebody during this season. Thanksgiving is just right around the corner. I'm gonna start putting a link to our donation page that'll get you straight to the Thanksgiving. It'll say Thanksgiving giveaway.
Yeah.
Give you the link to that so y'all can tap in and get us, help us with what we're trying to achieve. It's very easy to do. Like I say, if whatever you give, if it's $1, if it's 50 cents,
anything matters.
All the way up to however much you feel like you should be, you should help bless somebody with. We would graciously appreciate that. Now, with that being said, I'll bring that back up at the end. But to get into an actual topic for today,
all right.
The topic that I want to talk about today is I've been wanting to express, but at the same time, it's not about expression. It's really more so about
get it off your chest.
Asking. This is not even really an ask, but it's more so I want understanding. I don't really want to. I'm not asking questions. I just want understanding. So, with the way that we are as human beings, what are you willing to give up for what you believe in?
That's deep.
That's my big question for today. What are you willing to actually give up
for what you believe
for what you believe in? This isn't going at any rate of what we've seen on social media, TV, news, anything lately. This is more so a personal feeling question. Like, I really want to know, what is it that you feel that you could give up? So, Q, what do you feel in light of, I know I hear you say stand for something or fall for anything or something like that, right? I think I said that right. Okay.
Yes,
so
sir.
If it's a thing of not even just that, just what is your feeling? What would you be willing to give up for what you believe in?
I'm willing to give up money if it comes to the money or selling out or being something I'm not. I choose happiness, man, over anything. So anything that don't make me happy, I'm willing to give it up. I'm willing to give up partners. I'm willing to give up people. If they ain't pushing me to be great or pushing me to do better, so I'm willing to give up that. I'm willing to really honestly give up anything that don't stand for what I stand for, or my morals, or my beliefs or whatnot. If it's anything that's gonna make me be somebody that I'm not, then I don't need it. Like I always told you, like, if I gotta do something outside of being me to get something, it's not meant for me to have. So I'm willing to give up pretty much anything. I just say that anything that's negative, causing me negativity, or not making me happy, or anything against my beliefs, stuff like that. Yeah.
So if it's, like
If you could give me some examples, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So say like.
Cause you know it's some deep ones, you know, like where it's some like you got to think about it,
so
you know. Cause it ain't
let's say
simple.
like a situation like with somebody like Colin Kaepernick first, because I like how I hated how he went out,
yeah.
But how he had to go out because it wasn't a thing of he wanted to do it that way. That was a forcible situation. How he went out. Do you feel? For what he was standing on, for what he felt, what he honored in his heart, do you feel like that was a good move for him, or was that a bad move for him?
I feel like it was a good move for him because if you got to understand, I feel like this was piling up for time, you know, of him growing up. Like you got to actually know his background, his history. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that I want to bring to the people attention, like, you know, because this is platform we keep it real, but you know, everybody just saw the outburst, you know, like when he took a knee, but you got to remember this guy was a biracial child. His mom was white, I believe. His dad was African American. He grew up in a white you know, parent home, like that he got adopted or whatnot. And I seen the movie where, you know, he had to deal with conflict of being mixed, having braids, you know, his high school coaches would criticize him, say he looked like a thug, you know, with braids and stuff like that. So I take all that in consideration, and then you fast forward to what he was like, you know, doing, and it makes sense. Cause, you know, he probably got fed up, tired of, you know, the unjust. You know, and we see it all the time. Like blacks are treated, you know, differently. You know, police brutality. They say the land of the free, but you know, it shows opposite sometimes. You know,
that it does.
Liberty and justice for all. It shows opposite of that sometimes.
That
So
it does.
I mean, he took a knee for what was right to me. You know.
Yeah.
And long as he was prepared for what came with it, I don't knock him for it. And I'm sure he knew in his mind, well, I would assume that he knew what was going to come with it, but then again, he probably didn't know it was going to become this big.
Yeah.
Because it was something he was speaking his mind. Well, he didn't even speak. He just took a knee.
Exactly.
You know, so
you're right.
Yeah.
When I look at, let me ask one more thing.
Yeah.
Let's keep that same course of things. Now let's get a little heavier. Let's go back to a point where in slavery days, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that those days were, give me what you feel, or tell me what you feel that those days gave the black community? Give me what you think that they felt about standing for something or falling for anything. What do you feel they thought in those times?
From what I see,
from what you know,
from what I know,
yeah.
I think it put a lot of fear in the older generation. Like they was scared, because that's what slavery was. Remember, like, you know, if you knew how to read, it was a problem. You know, you was whipped, you was beat. You know what I'm saying? Killed sometimes. So, like, I think it put a lot of fear. The upper power wanted to put a lot of fear in us and not want us to have a mind of our own and think how we think and, you know what I'm saying, speak out. So I think it put a lot of fear in black folks more than anything, to be honest. But as time went on, I think the generation got bolder. You know, you had like people, like, I bring it to music. You had NWA come out, F the Police. You had people taking stances, Public Enemy, you know what I'm saying, groups like this that made it cool to speak out, and it gave people voices, you know what I'm saying? So as time went on, I think that fear went away, and that's when we became a problem, when we started speaking up and saying, we're valued more than this. We're worth more than this. I see what you're doing and it's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because every time you speak the truth, it's a problem.
It's a problem. That's right.
Get what I'm saying?
That's right.
So that's honestly how I feel, man. Like they wanted us to shut up forever and not say anything, but it ain't like that now. Well, majority of us, me included, I speak out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you feel a lot of those moments that you can process that
a lot of moments.
Do you feel like did they come at do you feel like the cost that they came at though is valued more so now than it was then, or do you feel like they valued what they did then more than we do so now?
You talking about the older generation?
Yeah, like the ones that were in slavery. Yeah, the ones that went through slavery.
That's a tricky question because it's still like the ones that I see speaking out now are the younger generation. The ones that's actually using their voice and not afraid to say anything. I see is mostly the younger generation.
Yeah,
the ones that actually wasn't involved in the slavery. So it's hard to tell if they value it now or if they value it then. I think they're still stuck in the old modern way. Like you be quiet, you go do your job regardless. Cause I know my mom was old school like that. And she was always like to the book type person.
Yeah.
Like you go to work, make sure the supervisor, whatever the supervisor need, and I think that mindset puts fear in a child. Because then that child is scared to think bigger or speak out when something is wrong, or you know what I'm saying, how it is, like when your mom, your parents can instill fear in you and they not even know they're doing it,
yeah,
like holding you back in ways. So I mean, it's not that they don't love you, it's just the way they were taught from their ancestors, their moms, and so it goes back to the fear factor. Like I think they're used to the old modern way. Like the older people are used to the old way where you don't question authority and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you a little deeper now. The reason why I ask these questions to you are because how me and you process conversation day to day. And I want to ask it while we're waxed up versus it being a thing of we just kind of communicated via phone. Because like sometimes people need to hear it
on wax. Yeah.
Some people need to hear it.
What we talk about.
Yeah, because sometimes we'll be very deep in phone conversation, then we don't process it right when we wax it out so we can wax it out so people can hear it versus, and we can share it with people that in that I'm gonna give you my feeling on standing on something.
Okay.
Now, when I stand on something for the fact of, as you do, for the fact of what I feel or believe that it is, or what I think what it is. All that has to do and plays a very strong hand in what I stand on. A lot of my beliefs though are very much grounded via how I am spiritually.
Okay.
The reason being, I've learned along the years that my personal feelings will not be taken into consideration for anyone else in this world. And I'm gonna tell you how I got to that point.
Okay.
When we got to maybe about the mid 90s going into early 2000s, I learned, and as being a kid growing up, you see things differently than you do as an adult, because there are milestones that come along with being a child and moving into adult years.
Absolutely.
The reason why I see things, like I said, is for why people don't pay attention to feelings, is it's a saying that some people say that some people may not even pay attention, but it's very true. You would say like when you greet somebody, it's like, hey, how you doing? I'm fine, but if I complain, ain't nobody gonna hear me no way, right?
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Let me throw one like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm fine. I'm here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
That don't mean you're here, but you don't want to be here.
That mentality there gave me another. It taught me something.
Mm-hmm.
That what it taught me is sometimes a person's mentality for what they stand on comes with a cost. That's one of those things where I feel like it came with a cost. The reason why it came with a cost is because what you felt. So you felt as if I'm gonna feel, I'm just here, or I mean I'm here, but I ain't gonna complain because can't complain. Ain't no need of complaining because ain't nobody gonna hear me no way.
Ain't nobody gonna solve it.
Now, in a lot of ways, it's true. In a lot of ways, it's false. But more so,
what you speaking on? What's true and what's false?
True of the fact saying feelings will never be heard in accuracy.
Okay.
Feelings also will never be heard as in standing ground. So, I say standing ground, meaning what I feel I should stand on. Mm-hmm. Everybody ain't gonna feel like they should stand on those same grounds with me because
that's life.
That's just it's the case of forming an opinion.
Exactly.
And once that opinion is formed, you got to remember that people are always going to go off of, man, once you make that word now, you make sure you stand on it.
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest. Let's be honest. And you remember when I told you spiritually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually, when you become a Christian, and this is for how I think about it. When you become a Christian, everything that you did when you weren't a Christian is going to be a challenge to you from that day forth.
That's right.
So anybody that's going to get into the lane of saying that, okay, I'm changing my life, right? And I changed my life to believe that, my Christian walk with God is going to be this, everything's going to change immediately and things are going to be, for the better, automatically everything's going to change. Yeah, everything's going to change what you thought mentally.
I see where you're going with it.
Now, let's take that slavery, the slavery mentality. And let's bring that question in now. For saying that let me answer that question first. For something, if I'm gonna stand on something, and if I had to give up anything for what I believe in and what I stand on, I would do it wholeheartedly. Now, as I spoke on with the slavery part, now
talk to
let me give you what I learned as a child coming up in the 80s.
Okay.
I remember by the time 87, 88 is when I really could process like actually being taught things, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is what's crazy to me. And what slaves had to go through or during slavery days was a very sketchy picture. The crazy part about it is nobody accurately knows what went on during that time. If it wasn't documented,
we would never know.
We never know. If it wasn't a picture, we never know. And that's the only thing that we have to go on now, because a lot of people in the slave days are dead and gone now. Yeah. And I remember hearing, my grandma, God rest her soul, when she died back in 2014.
Yeah, rest in peace.
I remember vivid conversations with her where I would hear her speak on things that were of those slave times. And it was crazy to me because, how I'm speaking to you with like how I remember vivid memories of the 80s.
Yeah.
She gave me points where she could vividly remember what she had going on during those times. And you know what's wild?
So she was a part of the slavery. She was there.
And listen to and hear this out. Not even a case of just her, but her understanding her parents and, you know, being in that world and knowing certain things that could have been the case for a lot of black people, but it wasn't for a whole lot of black people. So let me explain to you why.
Yeah.
One reason in the South, well, for what I know, this is what I learned, especially in the South, a lot of slaves had a freedom route.
What's that? Explain that.
And I'm gonna explain. I'm giving it kind of a certain slang because I'm gonna say the route to freedom. So think about it like this: stand for something, fall for anything. You kind of, I'm gonna stick with that kind of sort of because you had some slaves who would do exactly what they were asked of their master.
Okay.
Now, just like how you said in the podcast a couple of weeks ago, I said, Q, explain. I said, go ahead, express to the white people, tell the white people how you feel. And I thought about that. How you said it. You first thing you said was, now this isn't for all white people. Boom. Let's stop right there. So wait. Let's stop right there.
Yeah.
This is one of the most common things that's been going on in the world for a very long time. People respected people for being a person versus respected a person for the skin. So let's think about it like this. If those of us now, and I hate it because the fact of we're fed so much false. Some, you know, you got some of these dudes, these scholars, you know, they look up stuff and oh man, let me start this computer, y'all. I want to read something. A lot of people don't recognize like that love of respecting a person now is way different because they don't understand what went on then. And the reason why I play such a respect role with what people feel, you know, like I was telling you earlier with the respect lane, like you can easily feel disrespected by something somebody says really quickly. But what I've learned is, you know, people's personal opinions will not matter if you are built for it. If you're built for it. And the reason why I say it takes time to get to that point though, because I don't want a brother or a sister or a friend to feel that they can't be opinionative to something that they feel.
Okay, but can I cut in?
Yeah.
So my thing is, that's like, I'm gonna use you for example. That's like you saying, you know, you don't want to work with black people no more. But you know, you expect, but you know, your family here, and you want your family to be around you, and they're you got to think about it. You got, you know, kids is black. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, what you say is important. You know, like when Kanye makes statements like that, he got to realize like he's insulting the black folks, you know, by making statements that way, I feel. So you can't come and network with us. You can't disrespect us in a certain way and then want us and then come and want to chill with us and be around us. You get what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to accept that. Like, even like because you got to think about the ones that actually went through things, how they feel. Forget the generation now. I'm talking about the older generation. Like, when they hear things like that, it probably hits them harder. You know what I'm saying? When they hear that. And the thing, let me cut back when you said some of them had a freedom to do or not do. It goes back to that fear. and you know, putting that fear in people. And then another reason, that was probably the first time they had ever seen anything like that, like slavery. But we, at this generation, we have seen, it's been a pattern. So we have got tired of it. Like, imagine something happening for the first time and you're shocked. You know what I'm saying? I can only imagine how they felt. Like, we ain't never experienced nothing like this. You know what I'm saying? If it's something new to somebody. But as it keeps going on and on and on, and generation, they keep seeing what's going on, they get tired and they get rebellious. Like, no, I'ma stand up. Mm-hmm. So that goes back to that. Like, they probably didn't know how to respond. Like, they probably did have a freedom to do whatever, but if somebody's saying, like, that's like, you know, somebody with a gun and you get stopped and they're like, yeah, you can go out, you can go, but it ain't promised that I'm not gonna shoot at you though. You can go though. I mean, you free to go. Mm-hmm. So it's like that fear, like, dang, if I leave, then, you know, he might shoot at me. Like, you know, what I supposed to do? So it's fear, man, and it's probably something they never experienced before.
Gotcha.
You know?
It's one way I say this. Let me back up. Let's back up again. I'm gonna say this to you again. Feelings are not taken into consideration. So let's think about it like this. For as long as I've known of and understand slavery, mm-hmm. Let's look at slavery for what it is. So you're telling me that I should only respect those that went through slavery and not respect those that have an opinion about slavery, right? Or you're not saying that?
Like against slavery or for it, you saying
so
it was
if
bad or it was good?
Yeah. So if somebody says now, like you take somebody from now generation, people who have a voice now, yeah. If they feel something was a little different for what they feel, meaning they had an opinion on it, and it was an opinion that didn't cross the world the correct way, as you said. So like say Kanye, right? So yeah. If Kanye says something in that light, do you take, just like how you said, it's not a respect code there anymore because of something that he said, right? You feel that he should have more honor and respect for those that came before him and they had to go through it, right?
Okay, listen, I'm all for what's right and what's wrong.
Okay.
Like, it's some things, now let's not get it confused, it's some things that's debatable. Mm-hmm. Some things that might not look bad and look wrong. Like, for example, we started by saying Colin Kaepernick, you know what I'm saying, mm-hmm. taking a knee. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's debatable. Mm-hmm. I understand those opinions. Like, people be like, yeah, he was wrong for it. Mm-hmm. He was being selfish for his team. What about his family? Mm-hmm. Like, you know, he didn't think about his family. Like, you know, like him getting put out the league. He got to feed people, mm-hmm. this and that. Like, I can understand those. Those are like smaller things mm-hmm. to debate and opinions. Mm-hmm. But when you talk about slavery, something serious like that, that's obviously wrong, mm-hmm. and you make a comment like that, then yeah, I feel like you're wrong for it. If it's something that's blatant, like I said, we live in a world where we know common sense, what's wrong and what's right. If it's wrong and you make a remark saying the totally opposite, to me, it gets no respect from me. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if a cop kill an innocent black man, he shot him, and we're sitting here debating it like, well, I don't think the cop should go to jail. I don't think he should go to prison, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, yeah, you got an opinion, but your opinion is wrong. We saw it on camera. The cop just killed this innocent person. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel like it's wrong. Like, you know, I believe in wrong. Wrong is wrong and right is right.
Okay.
You know.
So let's let me get back to this direction. So basically with slavery, I think you said something to the light of when we were talking. You said basically what Kanye was saying was blacks had a choice of being in slavery or not, right?
Yeah.
So do you feel that blacks had an option of slavery or not? Do you feel that way? Yes or no?
Do I feel we had an option? No, I feel like we didn't have an option. And let me elaborate on it. I feel like we still in some type of slavery now to this day. I feel, in a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't have like the mindset of us just walking off a job or quitting a job, or us being on a job and knowing we have to be on our P's and Q's. Those are, it's not as harsh as slavery, but those are slavery mentalities they put in us.
Mm-hmm.
Like fear. Like every time you go to work, it's an eye on you. Mm-hmm. Like, because like, and I know this because I have seen it. Like, I mean, a black person goes to work with something to prove every day. We got to stay on our job. The white person, most of the time, can probably, slack off and all that, mm-hmm. and don't worry about anything. They're more, you can tell their attitude is more chill and calm, because they don't have the same things to live up to, or be the same accountability as the black person would have. Mm-hmm. So that's slavery mentality to me. Like, even though they're not whipping us and stuff like that, like, they put fear in us. Like, yo, if I see you slacking off, I'm firing you. Mm-hmm. And then, you got a family and this and that. So what you got to do? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of slavery mentalities. And then, like, it's either work a 9 to 5 or go without. I mean, and then, like, the benefits and all this stuff. The richer get rich and the poor get poor. If your family didn't have this, you're probably gonna end up working a 9 to 5 like they were. It's a repetitive thing. So I still believe we're in some type of slavery right now. My opinion, I feel.
So
even though we're free. I'm not saying it's not like, you get what I'm saying. It's not like it was back then, mm-hmm. but it's still some form of power over us. I feel. Mm-hmm. Like some type of slavery, and they want us more. It's more now. They want to trap us in our mind, put fear in us from thinking bigger. Like, you can't achieve nothing bigger. Like, you know what I'm saying. And if you try to go up, we got to bring you down. Mm-hmm. That's just how I feel.
So is basically, am I wrong by saying that you had the option of being a slave or not? Because you said that basically it's almost the same situation. So, like, I'm gonna give you my example. And
bro, option to me is like, if you go against what they consider for you, you will have a backup plan, or you will have something to look forward to. Like your life will be good if you don't go by what they set your life to be. For example, black people don't have a lot of options. I'm gonna just be real. We don't have a lot of options and resources due to the ancestors in our background. Like, some of us are born into situations, like you said, we handle the cards we was dealt with. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's not an option, because if you're born into it, you can only live in your best life, or you can only live how the cards you was dealt with from your family. So I don't feel like it's an option. Like, we don't have a lot of choices. Like, options to me is if you leave this and have another choice or have another option.
Okay, let me give you an example.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me give you an example then. Let's go a little deeper. You know the story of the Harriet Tubman?
Nah, educate me.
Okay, let's I got something pulled up right now, just so you can, because I hear you saying, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. But let's broaden it a little bit. Okay. So you don't think, like, it's not the case of saying, see, this is the part where I hate where people don't have access to just understand. Look, let me go pull up something in history. Yeah. To where I could see differently. See, a lot of people now don't get the understanding and training and teachings that we had years ago. Exactly. And now it's more a thing of, it's different teachings. It's not given, like I said, it's not taught the way it used to be taught. So Let's think about it like this. Harriet Tubman,
Yeah.
born Arminta Ross. She was born in 1822. She died March 10th, 1913. Was an American abolitionist and social activist born into slavery. Tubman escaped and subsequently made some 13 missions to rescue approximately 70 slaves, including family and friends, using the network of anti-slavery activists and safe houses known as the Underground Railroad. During the American Civil War, she served as an armed scout and spy for the Union Army. In her later years, Tubman was an activist in the movement for women's suffrage. Now, let
me call you back. I'm shooting. Yeah, I'm shooting right now. Yeah, we live. Sorry, people. Go ahead, Duan. I'm gonna call you back.
But yeah, we had that.
Sorry, people. We live.
we have that balance for, understanding. One thing for me is that no matter where we are as black people, we've always had a choice, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay, talk to me.
You take somebody like Harriet Tubman, right? I think she had like 8 siblings, bro. A lot of I think it's 8 siblings in all. So, and also she had an adopted child and her parents. Yeah. I think she was married twice, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, she was married twice. John Tubman and latter Nelson Davis. Okay. Now, you said we've heard the line of how Kanye expressed.
Yeah, I heard it.
It was you took it a certain way. I took it a totally different way. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because I've always felt like, as a black man, I've been a black man all my life. It didn't change anywhere.
You ain't go Michael Jackson.
Didn't go Michael Jackson. I didn't feel anti anything. I've always been just black. Yeah. Black man in America.
Raised around black people. Black people.
Raised around strong black people. And one thing I was given was an option. And I'm gonna tell you why. No matter what school I went to, what store I went to, no matter what, wherever I went, understanding that I was a black man was going to be one thing.
Yeah. But
understanding that I had an option to go to these places is another. So let me explain why. You got people who like Harriet Tubman, right? Now, Harriet Tubman broke away from slavery. So when you think of breaking away from slavery, what do you think is going through somebody's mind when they break away from something? Do you feel that
it's adrenaline,
to make a change, right? Or are you just doing it? Well, do you think that she was doing it for change, or do you think that she was just doing it just to be doing it?
Bro, like I said, this was the first time they experienced something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put that in consideration.
So, but hear me out though.
Yeah,
I do put that in consideration.
Okay,
but just like somebody like you said, so let's bring it to today's time.
Yeah,
you got some people who feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna go work at McDonald's, then get to McDonald's, be like, well, man, I ain't working at McDonald's. That don't make me no money. What is that? An option? That's an option, right? Now you became okay. I got an option. If I want to stick this out,
no, let me. Okay, so what about the guy that caught a felony, a misdemeanor, and what didn't do it, got caught up in the wrong place with the wrong person or whatever, and they try to apply for these high paying jobs and they can't get them, so they have to apply for McDonald's.
Okay, let's say that.
So is that an option?
Let's say that they have to, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So is McDonald's the only job that a felon can?
I'm saying it's limited though.
But is it the only one?
I'm saying, what if they applied for all the jobs and the only one they could get was
okay,
McDonald's?
But did they have the option to apply for many jobs?
Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. Now that's what I'm saying. The situation is that, like, because I get where you coming from.
Okay,
but I'm saying I'm using it in a perspective if they don't have that option.
So you telling me
if the options are taken off the table,
okay,
they're limited.
Okay, if they're even,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear the limitations, but the only time, am I right or wrong? Have we seen people who are known felons to succeed in life?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So say you gotta work McDonald's for 15 years and then you get all this stuff expunged off your record. Do you have the option?
You have the option, yes.
So now let's think like that. Let's broaden it even further, right?
Okay.
Just like Harriet Tubman, right? So just say she was scared, right? So she was, she saw this lifestyle, she was born into slavery, born into it. So she's seeing it totally different than saying that she was taken into slavery, right?
Yep. Yes,
so
sir.
It's a difference of going from taking and moving into that lane of, okay, we moving forward, we're gonna make sense of this, in the light of what I feel it should be. So I'm thinking like she's feeling like real Kanye-ish at the time. Like, man, it's a difference. It's another way. It's gotta be another way than getting up every single day doing it the same way every single time, every single day, same thing. I watch my parents get up, watch my brothers and my sisters get up, everybody doing the same exact thing. There has to be a better life than this, right?
Okay.
So just taking for example how I said, like, you got an option either to stay in the same place or to level up. No matter how hard, I think certain people fall victim to how hard something can be and feeling like that you're gonna be stuck in that place forever. Now I understand. I totally get it. I worked a job for 17 years and understood one thing from working this job for 17 years.
Okay.
I systematically tied myself into something that was a constant need, or I felt that it was a constant need and a constant I have to have, right?
Okay, but let me add this. Was your parents are educated, right? College?
My mom.
But so they've always worked good paying jobs, right? Like, I'm not gonna pretty much had a good life.
I'm gonna say it like this. I'm not gonna even consider that to even be the case, because my mom worked a job that I had, even working the job that I had more beneficial, and I actually at one point made more money than my mom did, even.
And I asked her because I want to throw in the background too, because like backgrounds are actually play a part too.
So let's remember this. You got to remember this, and this is one big thing. See, people always felt like, as I was telling you, because I was the only child, they felt like I had everything, right?
Me too.
So for the case in point of what I had versus what others had, it was a difference. One thing is, God gives you parents. We can't pick who our parents are. One. Exactly. Two, just like what Harriet Tubman, her parents was in slavery.
Yeah.
Was she gonna sit still, or was she gonna continue to do the same thing that mom and dad did? Okay, understanding that about every 10 years an era changes, and we have to understand that every 10 years something is gonna be different than it was 10 years ago. And one thing I've learned to fall into is being a better person and a more respectable person for everyone. So let me give you an example where I'm going with this, just because of the fact of I was speaking on Harriet Tubman, right?
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman was a very detailed individual for what she wanted to get done, to move people, to help people get free, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think she had some haters?
Of course.
Do you know why she? Do you know why she had that? Because she's freeing them. So let's move forward now. So she only helped 70 people, right?
Okay.
So let's take a person like Kanye, right?
Okay.
Kanye ain't looking to change everybody. He's not looking for people to believe in what he believes in. People will say that, yo, man, Kanye trying to get people to believe. No, I don't think Kanye trying to get people to believe anything. I just think that him forming an opinion and speaking up on things that he knows and he feels off of what he's learned disturbs people in some manner. So like me, he's not going to disturb me in some manner because
what he's learned, you said?
Yeah, what he's learned.
When his mama a Black Panther or something, she associated?
Let's see what she was.
Yeah, cause listen, yeah, I don't want to bring it up, but that's what I heard. Cause if that's the case, this man shouldn't even be saying that. He really shouldn't be saying no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's something that need to be looked up.
Okay. Donda C. West, born July 12, 1949, died November 10th, 2007, was an American professor and chair of Chicago State University's Department of English, Communications, Media, and Theater. She was the mother of rapper Ye, better known as Kanye West. Life and career. West was raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and earned her bachelor's degree in English from Virginia Union University in 1971 and her doctoral degree from Auburn University in 1980. On August 19, 1958, she and her father took part in Katz drugstore sit-in in Oklahoma City. She began her teaching career in the early 1970s at Morris Brown College in Atlanta. Began working at Chicago State University in 1980. West taught English Nanjing University for a year as a scholar through the Fulbright U.S. Scholar Program. And all West spent 27 years at Chicago State, including 24 as head of Department of English, Communications, Media, and Theater. A statement from the university recalled Statement's role in establishing the university's Gwendolyn Brooks Center and Black Literature and Creative Writing as an academic focus, teach writings of African American authors and poets while fostering new literary talent. I'm gonna keep moving. I'm just kind of scanning just to see if it's anything concerning her being anything within the lines of.
Can you type that in? Was she associated with any?
Let's see.
Cause this is what I heard. I don't know if it's accurate.
So you said she was what now?
She was associated with the Black Panther Party. She had some association with it.
His father is a
okay,
former
so
Black
that's my
Panther
point.
and was one of the first black philanthropists at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
And he talked big. He talked so brilliant about his father.
So let's think about it like this though. Even with being a Black Panther though, do we understand what the Black Panthers basically stood for?
For equal rights. We wanted
change.
Change.
Wanted an option. Wanted an opinion, right?
With an option that we didn't have.
Okay, am I asking for think about it still. Even with the Black Panthers, same thing as what Harriet Tubman was doing. Just as Black Lives Matter is doing. We're forming an opinion and rolling with how we feel.
That's not an opinion, bro.
How is it not an opinion?
Black Lives Matter is not an opinion. That's not something that. Okay, let me switch it. Okay, if everybody was treated equally, whites, blacks, everybody.
Okay.
And we came out with Black Lives Matter, I would see the narrative then.
Okay.
It would be like, we want to be better. We want more than this person, this race, blah, blah, blah. If we were all on the same battlefield playground and we were all equal and we started saying Black Lives Matter, okay, me as black, I wouldn't associate with that because I'd be like, no, we're not better. Nobody's better than nobody.
Okay.
We'd see the narrative there.
Okay.
But when you're below and, you know, as a race, and you're not respected like the other races, and you start a movement, Black Lives Matter, it's nothing wrong with that because it's basically like the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers started out like as black folks. You know, I remember Tupac saying like with people, for example, you know, it's food in a place or whatever, and you knocking on the door trying to get in to eat, and they're not letting you in. So you come back the next day, get more aggressive, like beating on the door, let us in, and you still not letting us in. So eventually, like he said, next you gonna pick the lock coming through the door. You know, give me some food. So that's what it was. It wasn't an option then. It wasn't no option because we were asking. You know, we were asking and they were still not giving. They were still not trying to give in. They were still not trying to give us rights and stuff like that. So that's why the Black Panthers were created, in my opinion, because we were asking, like Martin Luther King was asking, you know, without violence, and it wasn't getting nowhere. So it eventually turned into that violence. You know what I'm saying?
So again, I'm still gonna ask you the same thing, bro.
I mean,
is it an option or is it not an option? It's okay. So for a fact of saying somebody that's being opinionated, right?
Yeah.
A view or judgment formed about something not necessarily based on fact or knowledge. So if I have an opinion about something,
okay,
and it's not saying that it's fact or knowledge, if I just feel a certain way about it. So if I feel like, okay, like you said,
yeah,
Martin gets up, says it the nice way. Then you got people like felt like, man, that wasn't the right way to do it. Martin didn't do it. He did it too nice. We gotta go forcefully take what we want. So again, we're battling and fighting for having an option in what we want to do as black folk. If we didn't want
an option, bro.
Okay.
Because listen.
You keep telling me about it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. Cause look, because the way I see it, if it was an option, when we asked, we wouldn't even have to escalate to violence if we would have just got some understanding when we were asking peacefully. So it wasn't an option. Like we had to start the violence. You have to make a point at some point. So
you chose to do this, right?
Because you had no choice.
So you had a choice. Either because if we wouldn't have did it the way Martin did it, then so if Martin wasn't getting no option, no grounds with what he was doing, what am I gonna do next? I'm gonna take it by force, right? So that's why it's our option to say that I'm gonna choose to be forceful. I'm gonna choose to lay the hammer on it. I'm gonna choose to do it that way. That means that I got two options. Either I'm gonna sit at home and continue to do the slave thing.
Yeah.
Sit back, chill.
Yeah.
Be nice. Oh, fight the power. Or I got an option to say, you know what? I'm going to fight the power. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take it by force. I'm going to jump in somebody's face. I'm going to stand up in these cops' face. I'm going to, I got an option. It's two ways.
But you get what I'm saying? But you
hear what I'm saying still, though, right? I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
But if your option is to say that, okay, I'm going to do it the quiet way. I got an option to do it that way because I know I'm not gonna go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to do it the rowdy way.
Okay.
Then you got this Black Panther crew like, whatever. I'm gonna do it my way.
But I'm saying for the ones that started out doing it the quiet way and realized that it wasn't working.
Okay.
And then they escalated into like confrontation.
So did black people have an option? Yes or no?
Did we have an option? I'm still not.
Don't think about it as in a lifestyle, bro. Think about, do we have an option to get up to go to work every single day right now?
Now we do. We used to didn't have the option to vote.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying?
Okay, but are we voting now?
We're voting now.
Okay,
bro.
Okay.
Then,
I get, bro. You're talking to me as if I'm not worried about what happened then. I'm telling you what happened then. I get that part. As an option, though, we didn't have an option. Yes, we didn't have one until those black people that chose to stand up and say, "Look, I want an option. I won't change."
And that's the problem the black people have with Kanye. Like I said, he left that part out. He left that out. He won't leave it out. The reason why Kanye leaves it out is because we don't have a full understanding of what happened. We don't know what really happened. There's nothing to tell us it's only showing a few people that stood for something. Meaning, you know why it's only a few black folk that only stood for something? Because everybody wasn't bold enough to be this person. Everybody wasn't bold enough to be Harry. Everybody wasn't bold enough to be Martin. Or people weren't bold enough to be Malcolm X. Or people weren't forming anything to be like Black Panthers. It's people that had an option to say, you know what? So did we have options like where we could eat back in the day? Like we had, some people could say we don't serve niggers.
A fight,
you know what I'm saying?
To get, see, that's the part.
And that's what I'm saying. Kanye left that out.
He did.
That's the problem.
To me, how did he leave it out?
Because he just said slavery was a choice.
Okay.
When you say that, you're taking away from when it wasn't a choice, like when we didn't have options.
But
that's what I'm saying.
But like I said, though, how do we have options now if nobody ever stood up for it, though?
I get what you saying. You're saying what I wanted Kanye to say.
But he did.
That's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, if you can't say it in that short of a sentence, though, bro, think about it like that.
Yeah.
Why does everybody, if somebody understands it to the late understanding of what we understand it now,
okay,
nobody is going to feel we got too much of an opinion now. We got too much of an opinion. If we take it back and was one of those people during those slavery days, would you be one of the people that just would have been a slave? Would you would have stayed in the same place you were in? Just working for the man, getting up every day, cotton picking, sunny, sweaty days, raining slow.
I can't speak on that because I wasn't living in that time.
If you were living in that time, this is a choice. You can answer a question. You have an opinion now.
If you locked up, if you surrounded, and you can't escape, what am I gonna do? That's like prisoners, bro.
Okay, again,
do they have options?
Yeah, don't get in trouble.
No, I'm saying like they can't leave, can they?
Don't get in trouble. They
can't leave. No, I'm saying once
if you get locked up,
once they're in there,
if you get locked up for
once
something,
they're in there, I'm saying a prison. Do they have options? Because I'm gonna put this with slavery. Do they have options to leave?
Prison is not slavery. Prison is prison.
It is a form of slavery.
How is it?
Certain, like I told you, the cotton
it's slavery, but man. It's more cats in prison right now living good in prison, bro. It's people living in prison better than cats was during the slavery days.
You ask a prisoner where they prefer to be more, home or prison, and tell me what they say.
So I want to grow up in a house with 15 of my brothers and my sisters. One, not even a bathroom. I got a pot outside that we all got to go squat in. We ain't got no power. We ain't got no heat. We ain't got no AC.
Hey, people, we ain't got none of this. Listen, we ain't pushing the wrong narrative to not go to prison, man.
It's
don't go to prison.
It's
man.
The case of it. It's the case of, to me, still, for somebody that went to jail for one night and understood what it could be to say that, okay, if somebody's locked up in something, and I understand if there's absolutely no way out, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody escaped in the 1800s, bro, somebody escaped in the 1800s, bro, like, we have a different mentality now due to, like I was just saying, you got some people who feel threatened by certain things that people say. You got certain people who feel touchy about things that people say. Yeah. You got things that people say. I mean, you're in as I said, we're in a lane where feelings absolutely don't matter, but feelings do matter, because if we point ourselves towards something and we standing on it, right?
Yeah.
We feel like, okay, tomorrow, some people gonna get up, man, look, I gotta go to work. I gotta get there by such and such time. And I'm gonna stay there till such and such time. When I'm off, I can go do what I want to do, right?
Yeah.
But then you got some people who get up and be like, I'm gonna get up and do what I want to do today. So as a person, period, as a black person, period, as a white person, period, as a whoever, period, if we ain't living in a crazy situation right now to where people are going to judge you off of an opinion and off of your options and off of the way you live your life.
Yeah.
It's gotten that deep, bro, to where people you can't even address a situation. Just like the guy, you address something on a podcast.
Okay.
I post only 15 seconds of it and you touch somebody so bad that he was pissed off and went on his own little tangent about it.
And the crazy thing is, I didn't say nothing bad about white lives matter. All I said was my words.
Mm-hmm.
I said Kanye can't keep Kim Kardashian under control. He has more to worry about than some white lives matter.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how was that a disrespect to white lives or white people?
But you know,
I was talking about Kim.
Mm-hmm.
He has more things to worry about other than just white lives matter right now. He has a lot on his plate.
Mm-hmm.
And all he heard was white lives matter. That's all he heard, and he flipped out, and I flipped back out on him because I stand for.
And
what
see,
I stand for.
feelings. This is why I said standing on stuff, because.
And he stand on white people, and he stand for his white people. I stand for my black people.
And this is
what I'm saying?
This is the part where I said it's gotten that deep now to where people can't even express feelings. Like, I look at that, just like what you did, just like what Kanye did, just like with anybody that has an opinion, who feels like they have an option to do something and stand on something, versus saying that, okay, I don't care if I lose my job or not from this. I got an option, right?
Yeah.
I had an option to say that, okay, we sitting in here right now,
Yeah.
and we can sit here and turn out video and audio every single week.
Have an option.
And have an option to say that we could do this freely and express. That's why I'm trying to start doing more of these versus it being a thing of, we could talk about current events. We could talk about things like that, but
we need to talk about some stuff that's gonna hit home.
The world needs that part, that stuff that hits home. And if it's not hitting home, if it's not hitting your door, if it's not hitting your doorstep,
we wasting time.
It's too many options that we have. We could either, like I said, we could use this for a good cause or we could use this for a bad cause.
Do we pride ourselves on keeping it real? Do we want to keep limits to ourselves and not step on toes?
Exactly.
Or do we want to cut some people and tell the truth?
Exactly. And that's, to me, I think we've done a great job of having two opinions, because somebody feels exactly as you do, somebody feels exactly as I do.
Yep.
At the end of the day, like I told you, nothing can never take away the fact of me being a black man. I'm forever going to be black man. All hail to the black man. I am a black man.
Yeah.
How I feel that I have an opinion and an option, I've always felt as if I've had an opinion and an option. Even in some cases where, we as black men, we are in a situation where we don't have very many options.
It's not, man.
And the case of it being that, for me, as I would express it, I would express it like this. Black man, do not feel that you should be afraid. Do not feel as that you should be scared. Always feel that you are somebody. Make sure that you understand that you are somebody. Press the people like you are somebody. Don't die thinking that you weren't anybody. You have that option to wake up daily. Now, you have that option.
And you have a right to stand for something or fall for anything.
And your feelings should come from that.
Yeah.
You have the option to stand up on what you feel. If you stand up on what you feel and demand what you feel, it is nothing wrong with demanding exactly what you feel. It's gonna be scary. It's gonna feel a little scary, but don't be so scared out your mind that you don't go through with it.